This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to a Thursday afternoon edition of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, the Sierra Chicken Sandwich. Limited time that it's going to be here, so again, don't wait until the last moment. It is available today at all participating Taco John's of Cheyenne. And, by the way, I'm not sure yet if they finished the South Greeley Highway location, if it's still being remodeled. Look for the Taco John's food truck, usually parked in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where for you, the 2019s need to move on out. And again, there's a nice selection of 2019s from the Kia family, from Soul to Sorrento to even Stinger. Plus, they have the 2020 Telluride SUV. Kia of Cheyenne has the perfect vehicle for you or you and the family. Test drive one today, and you know what? Especially those 19s, save some big bucks right now at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank Times 2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between. Whether you need a home loan, a remodel loan, an auto loan, a HELOC. Platte Valley Bank is here to serve you. 2 locations. You'll find them over on Vanda High, and you'll find them over the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Tick, tick, tick. The clock is ticking down. And again, I do believe at the end of the month, they're going to be off the menu. And we're talking the Smokehouse BBQ Bacon Sandwich, which, perfect timing. My tooth is feeling a lot better. It is time to scarf one down and then wash it down with their Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade. Again, here until, I do believe, the end of the month. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, right across from Powers Field and Menards. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. You see Gene and the great staff over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. You can shop inside or do your business through the convenient drive-thru outside, open Monday through Saturday. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto Truck and Repair Center over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, all part of Lennox Enterprises, serving our community and our area for a quarter century. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, offering great CD rates. Matter of fact, I was looking this morning, saw their 14-month CD, and I do believe it was their 22-month CD interest rates, and you're going to like the packages that they put together. Again, rates, yeah, they do fluctuate, but over at First Tier Bank, lock in one that's going to suit you. Open Monday through Friday, First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Again, now I can go and enjoy the best in Paisan cuisine, East Coast style, as Joe Mondello has been in this part of the world, believe it or not, now for 4 decades. And he has brought traditional Paisan cuisine with him. Freshly made dough for those delicious pizzas, strombolis, calzones, fresh baked bread for those unbelievable sandwiches. And again, I'm a traditionalist. I go with the salami and provolone, but they've got meatball marinara. You can go with eggplant, parmesan. I mean, it's all for you over at Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Are open 7 days a week, and we get things underway at Scoreboard Time, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's the nexter.
So we'll talk about LCCC and also University of Wyoming athletics coming up here this week, and we'll start with Friday's action here in town with LCCC men's and women's soccer, as they will both play host to Snow College. Men up first at 1:30, women up second. They will be at least tentative for 4 o'clock again, happening over at the LCCC soccer fields. On the road for LCCC volleyball, they will be in Council Bluffs, Iowa, competing at the Reviver Classic. Friday they will have 2 games. First up will be Indian Hills Community College. That'll be 1 o'clock Central Time out there. And then game number 2 against Jefferson College, that'll be 5 o'clock again out there in Council Bluffs, Iowa for LCCC volleyball. How about for Saturday's action as well for LCCC volleyball? One game did get canceled. It was the Ellsworth Community College game. I guess they backed out of that classic, so no doubleheader action for LCCC volleyball. Instead, they will have one lone game at Iowa Western Community College, part of that tournament, and that will be at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time there in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Also, too, on Saturday here in town at Cheyenne East High School, a little exhibition matchup for Wyoming Cowgirls, at least volleyball. They will be playing in an exhibition contest against Nebraska Kearney. That is happening this Saturday at 6:30 again at Cheyenne East High School. Encourage all folks to head out for that one. And last but not least, Sunday's action for men's and women's soccer for LCCC. They will both be playing host to Cloud County Community College. Men up first for their contest at noon on Sunday, and then the women up second. They will be at least tentative kickoff time at 2:30 on Sunday. Again, both taking on Cloud County Community College here in town.
Well, the San Francisco Giants this afternoon made Kyle Hendricks look like a superstar as he fashioned a 3-hitter over 7 innings, as Jeff Schmarzda basically outdueled Hendricks today, throwing a 2-hitter over 7 innings, but gave up the lone run of the contest. Cubs win at Wrigley as they sweep the Giants. Final score today, 1-0 in a matinee performance. That just ended. Royals lose to the Bo Sox with a walk-off in the bottom of the 10th inning. That was, I do believe, a 5-4 contest? Yeah, 5-4, the final between the Royals and the Bo Sox. Let's see, games getting underway in the 5 o'clock hour. Rays and the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Nats, Pirates at PNC. Indians, Mets again, Citi Field. Marlins, Braves at SunTrust Park. Rocks will now move on to St. Louis to face the Cardinals at Busch. It will be the Tigers and Astros at Minute Maid. Rangers, White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field. Yankees and the Athletics again tonight in the Coliseum. Can the A's get the sweep of the Bronx Bombers? We'll see. Blue Jays and Dodgers again tonight at Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi.
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today on a Thursday afternoon. Kind of bummed, as you know, the Giants kind of gave me a little hope there, Nick, that they were going to give it a good shot for the playoffs. I think this 3-game sweep by the Cubs kind of there's a nail in the coffin right now. It's not completely closed, but it's not looking
still on the
good.
outside looking in, but obviously with the stack, at least National League wild card for the Giants, again for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Obviously the Rockies are completely out of it at this point in time, but it does seem like we are now starting to wean out at least remainder of those National League teams for the wild card contention, especially where, again, with that NL Central of how dominant it is, showcased off at least this week by the Chicago Cubs. Obviously, they're at Wrigley, where Giants, for whatever reason, have always struggled on the road there in Chicago. So we'll see what happens. We have a remainder about a month left here in MLB, so still some games to be played. Obviously, we're going to get into the heat of it, of more divisional play for all these teams, so we'll see what happens kind of in the future for the Giants, for the Diamondbacks. Obviously, we know Dodgers are in there, but it's more of those kind of close-knit races, again, also 2 in the wild card, but the NL East, NL Central, we'll see what happens as it starts to shape up. But outside of Major League Baseball, we do have at least Little League World Series still going underway. I do believe we're down to the Final Four, one game, or at least 2 games being showcased, one coming up tonight, at least of the 2, at least U.S. teams that are remaining out of Louisiana and Virginia tonight. Do also, too, want to talk about, or at least mention here really quickly, American Legion World Series out in Shelby, North Carolina did wrap up yesterday, where it was a meeting, I do believe, of the Fargo, North Dakota team against Idaho Falls, Idaho, the Idaho Falls Bandits, where the Idaho team is your American Legion World Series champion for the first time in their history, and also, too, in the 90-year, at least 93-year existence of the American Legion World Series. It's the first Idaho team to ever win the championship. So Idaho, the state of Idaho, finally has some championship hardware to bring back to the Gem State, or the good old-fashioned potato state up there in Idaho. So congratulations to Idaho Falls, where obviously Cheyenne Post 6 knows that team very well. They've competed against them, know what they were all about, and yes, they are your champions for 2019.
Going back to the majors, as we look at a couple things here, we were talking about the Giants. I do like what's going on with about a month to play, 30-some games left. I do like what's playing out in the American League right now. Now, again, Yankees, yeah, I think we can probably give them the pinball crown, even though they've been pushed around here last.
And I told you that for about 2 months.
Well, I know, but even though they're getting pushed around by the A's, the Twins, Indians, that will go down to the wire. Athletics will make a little run again at Houston, but it's the Astros to win in the West. But I'm really liking this wild card. I mean, if you go on a 2-3 game losing streak, you might be out of the race between Tampa, Cleveland, and Oakland. I mean, we're talking a game right now separating the A's from Tampa and Cleveland in that wild card race. This is exciting. This is why the wild cards were put in, to keep baseball exciting, to keep people going through the turnstiles, especially in Oakland, where they don't like to show up, and they haven't showed up in
Oakland
years.
fans are without a doubt the most fickle fan base, where they'll show up only when they're winning and do not. And again, that also too might be
Or beer's $1.75 night.
Where also too playing in the Coliseum. The Coliseum is not the greatest venue to go watch a baseball game, so that does not help.
It's like going to the bathroom. It's a sewer.
All right. I don't know where the hell you were going with that one, but either way,
it's just awful.
Again, looking out of the American League and also to the National League, where races are still tied out there in the National League, but yes, pretty much the American League, it is down to Cleveland, Oakland, and Tampa at this point in time. Boston, I'll even safely say, yes, they're out of it. They're 6.5 back of Tampa Bay and Oakland as those two fight out for that second spot. And again, they both have an opportunity. Oakland and Tampa Bay are only a half game behind Cleveland, who has a lead for that wild card number 1 spot to host that playoff game. So pretty much it's down to those 3 teams. It's just deciding of which one's out, which one's in, so to speak.
Rangers and Angels, as expected, they've fallen off.
Again, the
Boston, Boston is your outside shot.
American League is pretty much set in stone right now. It is down to 3 teams at this point. Again, Boston 6.5. I think at this point in time, yes, it's easy to say that they are done. They're not going to the postseason. But yes, looking at the AL at least standings, or at least division championship races, New York Yankees 9 games above Tampa Bay. They're streaking. Even though they've lost 3 and again struggled against the Oakland A's, I think Tampa Bay doesn't have enough to at least get past. Again, get 9 games up on the New York Yankees. So I'd say, yes, Yankees win the AL East without a doubt. 3 games out for Cleveland, for Minnesota, but that's going to be picking hairs, kind of like as we're seeing in the NL Central of whoever's divisional champion, they're going to the playoffs, but who does not get that division has a legitimate and probably best shot of making it as the wild card, especially there in the American League wild card, where Cleveland has a 1-3 shot, or at least has a pretty good percentage to make it to the postseason. And out of the AL West, Oakland 7 games out from Houston. We're getting into that divisional play without looking at Oakland's at least upcoming schedule. It's definitive to say that Houston.
They'll make a mild run again at Houston, and then it will be the Astros to win. I mean, Houston's comfortable right
as
now.
They got playoff at least odds right now, or percentages. Houston is 99.9% to make it to the playoffs. Oakland at 54%. Looking at some other playoff at least stats, Minnesota, the Twins, 97.4 odds. 82.4 for the Cleveland Indians, 99.9 for the New York Yankees, no surprise there, and 64.3 for Tampa Bay. To give you an insight on the Boston Red Sox, who are, again, 6.5 out, they are the fourth team sitting in that wild card. Playoff odds for them are 1.9%.
Yeah, it's the defending world champions, too. Over in the National League, so basically going back to the National League, Nick, it's down to about a 6-team race for the 2 spots. Nats, Phillies, those doggone Mets won't go away.
Yeah, they still keep on.
They are still.
They're on a 4-game winning streak.
And they're doing well at Citi Field, by the way. They are 36-21 at Citi Field. Away from that ballpark, they're not that good. They're 30-39. Central teams, St. Louis and the Cubs, they're battling back and forth. Milwaukee's kind of tailed off a little bit.
Which is surprising. Again, I had Milwaukee winning that NL Central over the Cubs.
I think a lot of people did, Nick. You're not the only one.
Yeah, but it is slightly surprising. Granted, Milwaukee, it seems like all of those teams in the NL Central have been beating up on each other, kind of like what we're seeing in the NL West at this point in time, where no one has really kind of at least stood out amongst the crowd there in that NL Central. But yeah, as you mentioned again, Milwaukee, they're 3 games behind St. Louis. Arizona, Diamondbacks, 4.5.
I'm not even going to put the Diamondbacks or the Giants even in that mix. I just don't see it happening.
And it didn't help with the Giants, who are now on a 4-game losing streak. Yeah, it does seem like the Giants' odds are pretty much gone. Arizona, it's going to be tough again to vault over Milwaukee, that is, again, who could find spurts to at least win. New York, that's doing phenomenal. Again, the Mets, who are on a winning streak.
And they're giving the Mets a better playoff opportunity than the Phillies. They're saying the Mets got a 47.3% chance of making the playoff, and the Phillies at 13.4%.
That's just how wacky this has been. Where
it goes on scheduling for that. Again, we got 30.
Yeah, it goes off of where you're at. Again, obviously takes an advantage of what your home record is, what your road record, what they are. Again, your opposing teams. It's all analytics. It's all stats of how this is calculated. But the Mets, as they've been making this charge, have had pretty good odds to make it to the postseason. Looking at some of the odds right now, or at least before we get to that, break it down at least divisional races. Atlanta, 6 games ahead of the Washington Nationals in the NL East. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the Braves are your NL East champions at this point in time. Again, Central Division, 1 game out of it for the St. Louis Cardinals behind the Chicago Cubs. Milwaukee is 4 games. Other than that, Cincinnati's done at 8.5. Pittsburgh, yes, well out of it. But you still have a dogfight in that one between those 3 teams. And, yes, I will include the Milwaukee Brewers in the NL Central of a possible team. They can make that charge. They can make that run if they are able to sneak a few wins against St. Louis or the Chicago Cubs. And in the NL West, as we've been saying for the longest time, as they are 84-44, 40 games above 500. The LA Dodgers, without a doubt, are your NL West champions. There is no surprise there. Again, it is for the Dodgers, basically their run to basically determine will they have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs.
I think they will.
They got a game lead over the New York Yankees at this point in time. So still a little dogfight, so to speak, for the Dodgers, something to play for here and now. But again, as we talk with Chris and as we're talking about the Dodgers, anticipate them to kind of not so much shut things down, but kind of ease back on some players, give them a little bit more rest than other teams would be doing. Again, Dodgers right now sit 20 games ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks, 21 against the Giants, 24 of the San Diego Padres, and 25.5 against your dead last Colorado Rockies.
And I'm laughing here with the Mets, how they are given that good of an opportunity to make the playoffs. I'm looking at their schedule. And again, picking it up.
Again, you're going to see the Phillies. You're going to see Nats,
you're going to see Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're going to see Atlanta twice. You're seeing the Cubs. You're seeing the Phils. You're going to Washington. You get Arizona for 4. You got the Dodgers for 3. You got the Rockies. And again, you're going to be at Colorado. You're at Cincinnati, Miami, and you wrap up with Atlanta. Matter of fact, I think the schedule favors the Mets at the end of the season. Their last 7 games will be at Citi Field. I'm just looking at the Phillies. I want to go to their schedule because that intrigues me now that the Phillies are down. I just can't believe that the odds makers are saying.
And while you're looking all that up, again, going off of playoff odds so far for teams, we'll start in the NL East. Atlanta Braves, 99.7% confidence that they will make it to the postseason, which is interesting there. Washington Nationals, they have an 89.5 percentage. Philadelphia, who is right now at this point in time, they are at least a virtual tie with the New York Mets. But again, 9 games out of at least behind the Atlanta Braves. They have 13.3% odds. And again, the New York Mets, who are still tied, they have a 47 at least percentage to make the postseason. For the NL Central teams, Cubs 83% confidence in them to make it to the postseason. 46.7 for St. Louis. 15.2 for the Milwaukee Brewers. LA Dodgers, of course, they're 99.9. It is an extreme guarantee for them. Arizona right now for the Diamondbacks, they are 3.7%. And for the Giants, who are, again, probably that cutoff line, they are a 0.1% to make it to the postseason. They are
basically, again, like golf, they're almost on that failed to make the cut list.
Yeah, the Giants, again, did not help themselves out of just being pathetic against the Cubs.
So you look at the Phillies, and they just wrapped up with Boston, where they did all right. They took 2 over there at Fenway. Now they go to Miami. Then they get Pittsburgh. Then they have
2 series that they should win.
They got the Mets at home. Then they go to Cincinnati for 4.
Should win that one.
They're at the Mets for 3. Then they get the Braves at home for 4. They got Boston at home for 2.
Should win against Boston there.
Go back to Atlanta. They go to Cleveland for 3. They're at Washington for 5. They got 5 at Washington. Obviously, they're doing a makeup. And then they'll wrap up the season at home, 3 with Miami. But
another winnable series. So a lot of
the odds makers are saying that the Mets have the easier schedule.
Again, odds makers do whatever the hell. Again, who knows why they come up with some of these wacky things of determining of, oh, hey, here we are, with the boost of, in the offseason of the LA Lakers now, they're the favorite team right now to win the NBA championship. We'll see what happens in 2019-2020 if that's even a reality. But again, it's all a multitude of factors. It's home and away records. It is what your team's doing right now, how hot you are, again, what players are doing well. Who knows what it is, but I think in the National League it is – you have East and West division champions pretty much set of Atlanta and Dodgers. Central, obviously, that's going to be a dogfight up until the end between at least Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Chicago, without a doubt. But other than that, though, as we are about, again, a few, at least a couple days, at least a month left of baseball, it is starting to shape up of, okay, here's our contenders, here's our pretenders, and here's how the division races are pretty much at least sizing up. And again, it hasn't been a whole lot of change, especially in the AL East with the Yankees. They've been up atop for quite some time. Houston has dominated the AL West. Atlanta's been in cruise mode for the NL East. And again, the Dodgers, without a doubt, from pretty much from game 1 this year, they've been in at least cruise control in the NL West.
And Minnesota had things well in hand in the Central, and then all of a sudden, there comes knocking on the door the Cleveland Indians, who have been pretty much the dominant force in that division for the last few years.
Yeah, but Minnesota in the last 10 have been a little bit better than the Cleveland Indians. So, again, they have a 3-game lead. So, Minnesota Twins, who I still think will be your NL Central champions, still has that opportunity, and I think they still can get it done. And in the NL Central, you can't discount the Chicago Cubs. They find a way to get hot in August and September, find a way to make their way into postseason play, at least in recent seasons. The Cubbies, especially what we saw against the Giants at home, kind of dominant factor. Cubs show that they should distance themselves. I have confidence that Chicago should take care of that NL Central and win that division again.
And tip your cap to the Cubs, what they did this week alone against the Giants. Today, beat them with solid pitching. And again, Jeff Schmarsda pitched well. I mean, in most instances, that's a win. A 2-hitter through 7 innings, gave up 1 run. Kyle Hendricks was that much better. Last night, the Giants battled back twice against the Cubs, and then was it Moranta, if I'm not mistaken? He came in the 8th inning and brought a ton of gasoline with him, and the Cubs ended up winning 12-11 in a slugfest. So, the Giants got bad pitching last night, and then the night before, it was basically Cubs pitching well, Giants not hitting, and then, it was a sweep for Chicago. And again, too, it's disappointing for me as a fan of the Giants. And I'm disappointed, too, Rocky fans. I expected a lot better from the Rockies. And I will say
I think it brings up a new, at least, conversation here in Major League Baseball, or at least talking about 2019 campaign of teams that have been the biggest disappointment. Colorado Rockies are right at the top of the list of how disappointing this team has performed. Again, we're talking a team that sits dead last in the NL West. Looking at overall standings, again, comparative to both the American and National League, again, just encompassing all of Major League Baseball. Colorado right now, they sit at least, they're not dead last in all of Major League Baseball, but they're flirting with the likes of Chicago White Sox. They're above them, Seattle, at least Mariners, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, Detroit. As it stands, again, Colorado's right there at the bottom of just kind of surprise teams of how did this happen? You were expected to compete for the NL West. You were supposed to be there with the Dodgers, and yet you were a complete failure, a complete disappointment in 2019. I'd even put along, at least to isolate another team out of the American League, how about the Seattle Mariners? That was another team that was quite a big disappointment this year.
And then they fire-sailed the entire franchise. I mean, they started out 13-2, Nick. 13-2, and look at their record now.
Yeah, 54-74, so 20 games below 500.
Matter of fact, one of the guys.
And the Rockies are sitting, it looks like, 11 games under.
I was going to say, though, you look at one of their guys on Seattle, Mike Leake. He was flirting with a perfect game here about a month ago. Now he's in a Diamondbacks uniform. I mean, it's just amazing. Looking at the Rockies, and I'm looking at their injured list right now. John Gray, he's out for the season.
Yeah.
He was placed on the 60-day injured list with a left foot fracture. He's done. Kyle Freeland, another one of the starters. He's day-to-day. Manager Bud Black said after Tuesday's loss that Freeland strained his left groin in the contest. He expected to miss time as a result of the injury.
And what you're reading off is not the cause of why the Rockies have been bad.
No, but I'm just telling you right now.
Because again, John Gray up to this point has been there. He's had
the four major injury, or the four injuries that have been noted here as of late. David Dahl, his ankle, he's optimistic he'll be reinstated from the 10-day injured list during the first week of September. And then Scott Oberg, who was trying to step in as the closer.
Whatever.
He's scheduled to see a St. Louis specialist in St. Louis. Again, his status, he's got an arm problem. And he's on the 60-day injured list.
But
so he's
all you're reading off is not the cause of why the Rockies were awful in 2019. Without a doubt. Again, John Gray has been healthy up to this point in time. Again, he's had his issues of pitching. Again, Freeland.
He's probably been the more of the consistent pitchers this season. Now, again, and we got.
I mean, we're talking Nolan Arenado has been healthy this year. You've had
and he's hitting .302.
Yeah, again, you've had your key pieces healthy. Injuries have not been the cause of why the Rockies have been terrible. It is just inconsistent pitching, whether it is starters. Again, the starting base that you had confidence, and I think a lot of fans did, that they would improve or at least be a little bit better. Well, they trended backwards this season for whatever reason. Again, that bullpen that's been pathetic for years on, at least for recent memory, for about 3-4 years for the Rockies franchise, it continues to be terrible.
It's interesting on the bullpen. And again, I've got a lot of thoughts on this. I've already made my opinions known. But it was like during the series with Arizona. One night, Wade Davis stinks. The next night, it's Brian Shaw that stinks. I mean, that's
the Rockies franchise.
I know, but
again, that has been the theme for how many years
I know,
of this
but
team.
with Bud Black, it's like rolling the dice at the crap table, and every time he calls for one of his pitchers, these high-priced pitchers, every time he rolls the dice, throws it against the back of the wall, it's craps.
We talk about Seattle fire selling during the season. I would anticipate the Rockies have to fire sell in this offseason. They gotta make some big moves. They're gonna unload. They're going to find a way to unload a lot of these contracts, a lot of these names, because it is not helping. Again, Davis, it's got to be at top of your list of why the hell we pay this guy this much money. He is not paid
for a 7.43 earned run average. That's your closer. 7.43.
He hasn't had a lot of opportunities to close games this year as well, too, for the Rockies.
Look at this.
But
here, these are the guys that come out of the pen. Chad Bettis, 6.08 earned run average. Brian Shaw, 5.67 ERA. Oberg, before he went to the injured list, he was one of the better shining lights, a 2.25 ERA. Let me look at Jake McGee, 3.82. He was injured for most of the season. So you don't even give him a pass. And then they cut the other guy, was Dunn, who couldn't. I mean, he threw strikes, but he also threw batting practice. I mean, this is just nuts. Their team ERA right now is 5.5. Every 9 innings, you can bank on the opposing team scoring 6 runs against them.
Well, like I said, again, with this Rockies team, as you look at comparative to the rest of the Major League Baseball, again, the pitching staffs that they've brought up there, again, just kind of comparing against against every other Major League Baseball team. As I bring this up, again, runs allowed for the Colorado Rockies have just been astronomical. They sit right below the at least Baltimore Orioles, who have allowed that pitching staff 807 runs at this point in time in the season. Rockies are right there behind them. 737 runs they have allowed. That pitching staff, whether it's starters or relieving, again, closers, whatever it is, 737 runs allowed. That's not going to get it done. Again, where the fortunate at least thing for the Colorado Rockies is runs scored for the Rockies, 678, so a run differential of 59. So that offense is kind of working double overtime to match that pathetic pitching that the Rockies have right now.
Well, and again, the bright stars, obviously not the pitching. I think we'll both agree on that. I know we need to get to a break. But again, you look at a guy like Nolan this year who signed the big deal, the $30 million.
He's been Nolan. He hasn't been anything special this year.
Yeah, but again,
he's been Nolan.
He's got 31 home runs. He's got 96 RBIs. Basically, what he's paid to do.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do.
You've got Story, surprisingly enough, who's hitting 296. Yeah, I mean, and the strikeouts. He's got 131. He's still a little high in that number. He's striking out about once every 4 times.
That's on par with Major League Baseball.
Blackman hitting 330, 27 home runs.
Again, the offense is not the issue. Defense has not been the issue either. It is something that pitching has just been the biggest cause of just this downturn for the Rockies this season. And it's going to hurt them going into 2020 unless they, at least that front office.
But what do you offer? Even if you go to the winter meetings basically will be buying free agents. That's usually what happens at winter meetings. Or you do some selective trading. The Rockies, if they're going to do some trading, even in the offseason, Nick, they've got to throw a Blackman out there. They've got to throw...
which I think is a possibility.
I don't know if they can get anything for Desmond. I don't know if they can get anything for Daniel Murphy.
Again, teams are out there where you look at what the Giants were able to do, maneuvering, whether it was Dyson, whether it was moving, at least Mark Melancon, even back in the day, Hunter Strickland, some of these guys that just weren't getting it done. Teams are interested. They're willing to work with these teams and say, hey, we'll offer this for you. It's not probably what you want, but if you want that guy off your hands, we'll gladly take him. Again, you never say, at least never in Major League Baseball regarding trades or moves for teams, for players, of someone out there is going to be interested. They might not offer what you want, but if you're that desperate, there it is. It's on the table. Again, for a McGee, for a Wade Davis, I would not doubt come off-season time, there's teams that are going to go, yeah, we could use him. Maybe start him at AAA, or maybe he could be a good addition. We could work with him.
There are teams out there as a general manager, Nick, or the owner of the team, if I'm trying to trade Davis, first off, I'm trying to trade the salary. I want to get rid of that money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's teams that could, again, we're talking, if salary is a big issue, there's teams that can foot that bill.
But, again, do you have any takers on his salary? Probably not. His numbers are not good enough to get him a good trade. So the next option is you have to package a deal and possibly unload salary there. The third thing is you just waive them and just say adios, and we're going to eat your salary. That's
again, Rockies are not going to do that. I don't think a team that is that cheap.
I mean, they had to do it years ago with Jose Reyes.
But again, I highly doubt the Rockies would do that. They would just rather just, hey, we're paying you, we'll get something out of you, or at least move you down to AAA or try to work on mechanics. I don't foresee the Rockies just unloading salary like that, or not even unloading the salary, but again, just waiving a player, especially with that high money's just being paid to him. I don't foresee it.
I mean, I if I'm right now, and Bradich, I would feel has got to be more on the hot seat than anything.
Without a doubt. I wouldn't, and again, it is that situation kind of where we're talking over in Laramie with a certain coach and staff over there. I think we're on the same par, out, at least down in Denver with the Colorado Rockies with Bridich, where you can't deny that the guy was a part of two teams, at least, again, a Rockies, at least here in 2017, 2018, where they, for the first time in franchise history, made back-to-back playoff stints. Granted, they didn't go far in any of them, but it is a situation of, hey, they made it to the playoffs, and 2019 was just that rogue year. Again, ownership could look at that of going, okay, you had away the good. The good way outweighs what was bad of 2019.
But my point is, though, as I'm the GM, and again, I want to get to the break here in a couple of moments, you don't touch Nolan.
No.
You don't touch Story. You don't
could.
touch. I don't think you touch Story. You don't touch Blackman.
You could.
You could.
Again, his name was flirted out there around trade deadline.
But they didn't do that. And then David Dahl. I mean, these are four names you're not going to mess with.
They could. Again, I think the only untouchable Rocky is Nolan Arenado.
All right,
Blackman, yeah, you could if you package some big deal.
Then you better get some frontline pitching for him. You better get,
And I think teams would be willing to do that.
And again, here's where I would be at, and don't take this wrong. If you're going to package a Blackman and Davis, just for argument's sake, and you send them over to San Francisco, you better be getting Mad Bum in return.
Which could be a possibility.
Okay? That's what I'm just saying. And Mad Bum and maybe you throw in a Scooter Gannett, just for argument's sake. But the thing is, looking at Nolan, Story, Blackman, Dahl, I will even put McMahon in there. I would think those five would be your last resort trades. Tapia, he's young, and he could probably bring you some benefits. Desmond, he's too big of a salary, and Murphy is older. He's not going to bring you a lot. The Rockies don't really have a lot to package right now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Pat Valaika hitting $128 this year. Garrett Hampson, who was supposed to be, this is one of the guys where they said, hey, we're going to bring him up, play second base because we're going to let LeMahieu go. Guy's hitting $216. Guess what LeMahieu's hitting over in the American League? He's hitting better than he did in the National League.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, if I am Jeff Bridich and I get that call from the front office and they say step into my office, I don't know. I just don't know if I have a job at the end of the year.
I think by 2020 for Bridich, he'll still be the GM. I would put strong confidence in that. I think it is a situation of, hey, what have you done for me recently? Well, at least for the past 2 years outside of 2019, hey, we made it to the playoffs, and I'll just say that 2019 is an anomaly year. I think that's what's going to happen down there in Denver, kind of what we're seeing with John Elway, a situation of his managerial kind of skills of, hey, well, you got us the Super Bowl, but again, recent years have been bad, but we'll overlook that because you got us the Super Bowl. But at least for the Colorado Rockies, fire sale is probably not the best term for this team. I don't think you're going to see the whole team unloaded, but that pitching staff has got to go. Without a doubt. Again, more of the bullpen should be in the offseason adjusted.
See, the one thing the Monforts don't want to do, especially Charlie Monfort, they don't want to do the I don't want to use the word dirty work. They don't want to be that guy that has to make all the decisions. That's why they hire a Bridich. That's why they had the other in place before Bridich, who's now working for MLB. My point is they want to get angry and they want to fire you, but they don't want to be the guy pulling the strings and making those decisions. Hell, they didn't know about Tulowitzki being traded that time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how out of it they are. Bridich, I have a feeling, might be getting called into the office at the end of the year, and he might be out of a job. Bud Black needs to get into that office of Monfort and say, I got to make some changes in my staff.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And hopefully, again, I'm not in panic mode right now, and I don't think they're going to be pulling a lot of strings during the offseason. Maybe they might open the checkbook.
They need to, or 2020 is going to be just as bad.
But those five guys I mentioned, core guys, I think they're still going to be Rockies next year. I really believe it. All right, we got to take a timeout. We are way past break time. Let's take a timeout. We'll be right back.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Perotti inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
To celebrate Taco John's 50th anniversary, our famous Sierra Chicken Sandwich is back. With grilled chicken and original Sierra sauce wrapped in a warm flatbread, the Sierra Chicken Sandwich is better than ever. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win $50,000, free food, and other great prizes with any medium or large drink purchase. 1 in 3 cups is a winner. Enter the code on the cup to see if you've won $50,000, free food, or other great prizes. The more you play, the more you win. Ole the day at Taco John's.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We'll work hard for your business, and we'll work just as hard to keep it. I'm A.J. Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and you need to see the new 2019 Kia Sportage today. The 2019 Kia Sportage offers numerous options and advanced driving features that help you know who is around you and how best to stay in control. Kia Sportage offers many standard features for the money. Some of the competition does not. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 81 and winds out the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 54. On Friday, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 79. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Beyond the discussions of the Rocks here, and again, you know, this same thing could be said too for the Giants, but
you don't want to forewarn folks, especially what happens in this building, as we just heard something outside.
All right, yeah, I'll let you do that here real quick. Give the weather update since we heard the thunder boomer outside. What do you got?
Well, again, I don't have anything official, or I have not seen anything from National Weather Service here in Cheyenne.
Chance for thunders.
But again, yes, those possible thunderstorms are here in town. I do want to at least update folks that possibly, again, we know how this building works with power outages. Again, Black Hills Energy, as the trucks were also out and about in this area earlier today. But again, we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, that nothing happens with the show or 1480 KRAE. But again, thunderstorms are in the area. Again, just trying to take a look at if it is just a severe thunderstorm or anything like that for the National Weather Service. But go right ahead for what you had about the Rockies.
So, you know, going back, and again, like I said, this could also be, you know, said with the Giants, but we already know Bochy's leaving, so now it's a matter of who's going to replace him. I think, and I said this, I don't know, about a week or so ago, that, you know, Bud Black's job could be in jeopardy. I would think that probably he's going to get a pass. But I'm seeing something that's eerily similar with these Rocky skippers. You know, Clint Hurdle got him to the playoffs. And then all of a sudden they fall on hard times. Bring in Jim Tracy. Jim Tracy gets them to the playoffs. And again, just so you understand, Clint Hurdle was under 500 with the Rockies, 534 and 625 as a manager. Jim Tracy, 294, 308 as a manager. Bud Black, he's the only guy above the Mendoza line right now. And that
again,
might
small sample size.
Yeah, but he might be 500 by the end of this season the way they're playing right now.
Probably.
And then you in between you brought in Walt Weiss, which was a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
For the Rockies franchise. So, I mean, you're starting to see things that are similar. With Bud Black, I would hope that he throws a little muscle into this because he's going to have to come back. And I don't even know if it's Bridich. Again, I don't know if Bridich is going to be around because he's not selling me anymore on this Rockies future. The Rockies are not good. Pitching,
the Rockies
pitching is not good.
Again, the future of the pitching is what I told you last season, that it's nothing too spectacular. Again, John Gray is not an ace on any other staff except for the Colorado Rockies. He's nothing. He's an average pitcher. That, again, where we saw this season, he's there. He can get you some innings, but it's nothing like some of the elites that we see across the league. He is just an average, everyday pitcher where, okay, you expect him to do well in some stints, and probably he's going to have his rough outings in most. It's a situation that the Rockies are in of where your offense is set in stone. Your offense and infielders are set in stone. You have probably one of the most potent offenses in Major League Baseball. Defense is pretty solid as well, too. You don't have to worry about that. Again, you lock down a lot of those key players. Again, Nolan Arenado with Charlie Blackmon. You got all those pieces set for the future for the Rockies. Again, what is the biggest theme of what it's what have you complained about? What has everyone complained about? What has everyone talked about this Rockies franchise in recent years is just the pitching. That has been the theme for 26-odd years for the Colorado Rockies. Of pitching has been the biggest issue and has never been solved.
And again, too, you've had, three general managers there, Gebhard, Dan O'Dowd, who you'll see on Major League Baseball Network, and now Jeff Bridich. Well, Bridich, to me, just doesn't have the panache. He's just not, a guy that's just going to say, hey, Pro Eddie, you don't get it together, I'm putting you on the train out of here. I mean, that's how Billy Beane is. Oh, by the way, you've been traded. That's how Billy Beane is. The thing is, with Bridich, I don't know what if he's operating as a general manager with one arm tied behind his back because of the Monforts. I don't know.
Possibly.
But again, I listened to a Charlie Monfort talk, and it's almost like he's the guy who shakes hands and kisses baby, and that's it. He doesn't really.
He bought a team, he invested in it, and that's about it.
He's made 6 times his investment.
Which is not
good for him.
Again, as we talk about across sports, whether it's NFL, MLB, NHL, the Monforts are not the owners that Rocky fans probably would like to have. It is an ownership group.
They really enjoyed when Jerry McMorris was at the helm.
Well,
for the Rockies.
you have owners.
First and
you have owners right now where we've complained about where it's a situation of they don't care. They're not invested. They're not watching daily like some of the elite. Again, some of the winning ownerships, across Major League Baseball, NFL that are invested or down there at least game by game, invested in the players, invested in winning.
I think after Kelly McGregor passed away for the Rockies, who was the president of the operation at the time, I think that's when Charlie Monfort got more involved, and he became, more of the, hey, I am the owner of this team. Yes, you'll see me in the stands, and yes, you'll see me at a food drive, and you'll see me this, that, and the other thing. He became more invested. Matter of fact, we saw him that time when they were honoring the employees. Remember that when we were at the Giants game?
Roughly,
a little while ago.
I don't remember the little pregame stints.
Well, that was in between Game 1 and Game 2 of the Giants and the Rockies double dip. But the thing is, though, you look at Monfort is a little more front and center, but I think Bridich now has become timid, simply for the fact he's made some really bad signings.
I think
he feels he's on the hot seat now.
Possibly, I would not doubt. But going back to Monfort and this whole situation of ownership of the Colorado Rockies, you're talking about he's been more front and center or more involved with the Rockies as of now, as of lately. But is it a situation of that he's more invested in the business that's treating it as if it is a business of just more of the financials, looking at numbers and all that, and not invested in more of his players, his personnel, his staffing, of what he has there? It sounds like it's more towards that of he's more about the numbers and the money than he is about the team winning, the fans, everything about that.
I don't think he knows that part of the business. I don't think
so. In my opinion, that's where he needs to step away, or at least pull back on the reins a bit.
Again, you got to understand, when Kelly McGregor died, that part of the baseball operation, I mean, this was a man that was very knowledgeable in the baseball operation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that Charlie Mofford doesn't want to do, the baseball operations. Yeah, maybe the business side, but the baseball side, he's got to get the right people in place.
And he doesn't have that.
And Jeff Bridich is not the right person.
No.
And it's proven, and it's panning out. I don't care that they made the playoffs the first year in 2017.
I mean, you should for that franchise where
they
playoffs have been. The Rockies are not known for the postseason. In 27 years of existence, the Rockies are not known as a postseason team. It's a team that struggles, have been awful. It is a team that is known for awful pitching. That they have. From 93 to here we are in 2019, it's a team that is known for its offense, big offensive names. Again, you go back to Galarraga, you go back to Dante Bichette, you know of the
Blake Street Bombers.
You know of that, and now here we have kind of a similar feel with Blackman, with Nolan Arenado. You have those names, but they're on teams that just don't go anywhere, kind of like with Todd Helton. Hey, you know of him, you knew he a potential Hall of Famer, but he had couple stints at the playoffs
and
again
the World Series where they got
they were pathetic in that one. But other than that, though, he spent most of his time on losing teams. That's what the Rockies have just been known in their existence for under 30 years at this point.
Okay,
in time. This is nothing new.
Here's where I'm at, and even the Giants have been stupid. Melanson, as you mentioned him earlier, where do the Rockies address again? Season's over. Okay, it's the same complaint since 1993.
Mm-hmm.
The season's over. Pitching is the thing we have to address. Okay, Tyler Anderson, a complete bust this year. Kyle Freeland, unexpected. But a bust. Jeff Hoffman has been a bust. Gray has been your top pitcher along with Marquez.
And Marquez, though, he's gotten tattooed in a few games.
Those are your two top pitchers. They now have Melville.
And even that's kind of...
They brought up Melville, and who threw out the other day, or they got him, I should say. And
at this point, yeah, you gotta find someone that's willing to take those spots, and obviously you fill in the places for whoever's on the IL at this point in time. But, hey, Rockies are at that point where you're playing spoiler, and you're going to test out who's coming up from Albuquerque of, okay, here's your shot.
So, again,
obviously a lot of those rookies coming up, or at least unnamed folks who are not known commodities around Major League Baseball, they have stints like that.
See, and you just said something that's very poignant. Same with Billy Beane and the A's. Billy Beane, when he did his trading, traded for prospects. And again, if you've never seen the Moneyball, if you've never seen the movie Moneyball, you definitely want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's pretty much Billy Beane, how he does his operation.
Yeah.
And with nothing. I mean,
a guy who's still, as the general manager, still doing the day-to-day operations.
But the thing is, with the Rockies, and you just said something that's important, maybe they need to stop going after Davises of the world, and they had Holland before him, and the Jake McGee's, where they've just, spent monies that were just total waste.
Well, clearly it shows that it's not worth it.
And develop through the farm. But as you develop through the farm, you've got to have a pitching coach or coaches that are themselves knowing the game and knowing how to approach the game.
That's where you go after
strength and conditioning.
And not so much the big names or legends of the game, but it is someone of, okay, you played it, you did well. Come on down to Albuquerque and start teaching some of these guys again, kind of like a Dave Righetti. You find something like that.
Dave Righetti's never going to make the Hall of Fame, but Dave Righetti, who was a starter who pitched in the American League.
Yeah.
And again, he pitched in New York of all places. You want to talk about a tough town to pitch in? The Bronx?
Yeah.
Dave Righetti made his mark. And when he retired and decided to get into coaching, boy, who gobbled him up right away?
Yeah.
The Giants franchise did. And again,
it paid off dividends, but it is something for the Rockies where maybe it's a stint where you need to find some of those vet players that had somewhat decent success in the MLB. Again, you don't need to go to, hey, go find Mariano Rivera and go, hey, we're desperate, come coach. Hey, that'd be awesome if you did.
Mariano Rivera, where did he come from? He was brought through the system.
Yeah.
He wasn't on anybody special before he made his mark with the Yankees. You sit and you look at, and again, I don't want to get to the top of the hour. We got another break. You look at Roger Craig back in 1989 with the Giants, and he'd been with the Giants, during the time, but they finally broke through.
Yeah.
Roger Craig was a pitching coach. He was a pitcher and then a manager. Okay? So he pitched for the Mets when they first broke in '62, and they were lousy when they won 40 and lost 122 games. But Roger Craig, through his years, developed a pitch called the forkball.
All right.
And he taught all of these pitchers that came up. Back in the '89 team, the Rick Rushells of the world, who came over from Chicago, who was an average pitcher, and Atlee Hammaker. He made these guys good pitchers by adding that one pitch. So you basically had a fastball, you had a curveball, and then you had the forkball.
All right.
So, again, Bud Black also is a pitcher. And I think Bud Black...
Okay, then why is it not translating to...
Because, again, I think he's put too much faith in Foster and Darren Holmes, who I don't think are good coaches.
According to Bud Black, they are.
Look at the injuries. Look at the injuries to the Rockies. Look at the injuries to these guys. How many of them all went on the IL because of nicks and bruises and this and that?
Well, that's more strength and conditioning. That just
exactly.
Yeah,
get the right people in place, and maybe you can develop these young arms. And again, you got more young arms coming out of Albuquerque.
You would like to think so, again, without seeing what the Isotopes are doing down there in Albuquerque of how they're faring. But you would assume that, yes, you have that option where you look at majority of the Rockies, other than what they brought in on the bullpen side of things, it's all been your farm system. Again, John Gray, with all your familiar faces as part of this Rockies team have been farm bred, and they're a part of it. But where your offense has paid dividends, your pitching staff is subpar. So where's the confidence in your farm, at least your pitching staff in the farm ranks, whether it is down in Albuquerque or moving down AA, single A, right. Grand Junction, or out there with that leagues, with that rookie league. Sorry, if I'm a Rockies fan, I don't have confidence because you already have your farm players intact, your starters, and at least mixed in with some of the bullpen, especially in some years of recent. It's nothing that special, and I don't hold a whole lot of high hopes for what's coming up.
Well, you know what? Especially with these farms. By the way, the forkball, that is also known as the splitter, if again, by modern terms. But also, too, these farm hands that come up, they know they're only here for a coffee break, Nick. Davis is your guy. Shaw is your guy. O is your guy. McGee is your guy. These are the big dogs that are getting paid big bucks. So you're only up for a coffee break. And then, boom, you're back down to the Isotopes. We got to take a timeout. We're way past break time. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly. And then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys, heard only right here, feature Tito's Handmade Vodka, 750 milliliter bottle, $15.99. Exotico Blanco or Reposado Tequila, 750 milliliter bottle, $12.49. And Dos Equis Amber or Lager or Beers of Mexico, 12-pack, 12-ounce bottles or cans, $14.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. Some common things that can affect your personal or at-work computer. The worst of all is a virus. Secondly, it runs too slow because the hard drive is filled or something else internally is wrong, and it's in serious need of an upgrade. Before you get rid of it, let Lanny at Affordable Computer Repair attack and fix those problems right away. Affordable Computer Repair is just that. So call 307-256-8971 and let Lanny's many years of computer service get your computer back up and running the way it should be so you don't miss a day of work or the personal use that you expect from it. He's worked on them all, so you'll feel confident he'll get the job done right. So don't junk it. Help is on the way from Affordable Computer Repair. Call 307-256-8971.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
The end of the summer is in sight. Did you accomplish all of your home improvements and remodeling projects? Whether you're remodeling your kitchen or adding a little extra space for your growing family, a home equity line of credit with Platte Valley Bank can help you finish what you want to complete this summer. So stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit with Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All lines of credit are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 81 and winds out the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 54. On Friday, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 79. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Well, the sky is a little beyond gray right now. Got a little black mixed into it. So,
well, it's out to the east right now of where, for folks on the live stream, whether it's YouTube or Periscope, at least folks that got to hear it on the radio side, just updating. Severe thunderstorm warning, at least more for east part, or at least southeast of Laramie County. That involves Pine Bluffs and Carpenter, Wyoming. This is valid until 4:45 p.m. tonight. Again, wind up to 50 miles per hour. Hail, $50 size. I'm surprised. I don't know why they use that increment, because who knows even what a $50 is at this point in time. But again, it is a storm out to the southeast again around I-80 Pine Bluffs side.
All right, so if we get interrupted on the radio side, again, we'll be doing the streaming thing and we'll still be talking here. But again, we want to thank the National Weather Service for updating us on the weather happenings. Again, hour number 2 being brought to you by some great folks, Taco John's of Cheyenne, Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, Platte Valley Bank on Vanda High, and at the corner of College and Pershing, Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard, First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, and Mondello's Pizzeria across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And, of course, our scoreboard each hour is being brought to you by Pepsi Shine, who will be sponsoring our scoreboard once again for the upcoming football and basketball seasons on 1480 KRAE.
Which will start at least Friday, August 30th. Cheyenne East at home taking on Campbell County, which we'll have here on 1480 KRAE. For this weekend, however, though, here in town, LCCC men's and women's soccer, as they'll have 2 home games. Will start on Friday as they'll play host to Snow College. Men up first, 1:30 o'clock is when that will start. 4 o'clock for the women. Again, that is all tentative schedule for this Friday, again, over at the LCCC soccer fields. How about for this Saturday, again, on the road for LCCC women's volleyball as they'll compete in the Reviver Classic Tournament. Friday, 2 games for them. Council Bluffs, Iowa. They'll take on Indian Hills Community College at 1 o'clock Central Time, and then game number 2 will be against Jefferson College. That is at 5 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday for LCCC women's volleyball, they'll be, again, on the road at Council Bluffs. They'll take on Iowa Western Community College in that tournament. That game it will be set, or that match will be set for 12 o'clock Central Time. Also, too, on Saturday, do want to remind folks here in town at Cheyenne East High School, the exhibition matchup between the Wyoming Cowgirls volleyball team and Nebraska Kearney. That'll be happening at Cheyenne East. Again, about 6:30 tip-off time for that contest exhibition game there at Cheyenne East High School. And then also, too, Sunday, August 25th, here in town, LCCC men's and women's soccer. They'll be playing host to Cloud County Community College, mid first at noon, and then the women will follow at 12:30, happening at the LCCC soccer field. So again, a lot of action happening this weekend here in town.
Major League Baseball, a couple of finals in for matinee performances as the Red Sox and the Royals that was postponed by rain, and they had to, do the rescheduling on the off day. Well, the Red Sox finally win in the bottom of the 10th inning with a walk-off, final score 5-4 in that suspended contest. That was completed today at Fenway. And the Giants and the Cubs, well, there wasn't a lot of action. Matter of fact, only 1 run pushed across the plate. Cubs win. They blank the Giants and get the sweep at Wrigley today. Final score 1-0. Games getting underway when we get out of here in the 5 o'clock hour. Rays and the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Nats Pirates at PNC. Indians Mets at Citi Field. Marlins Braves at SunTrust. Rocks Cardinals at Busch. At 5:45, it will be the Motor City Kitties of Detroit, the Astros at Minute Maid. Rangers White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Yankees Athletics in the Oakland Coliseum. Blue Jays Dodgers, that is, at Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Alright, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one, mythic artifacts. But the most advanced tool in gaming today isn't even in the game. It's right in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel is purpose-built for gaming, created with pro gamers for gamers. What does that mean? It means it's formulated with ingredients that have been shown to improve accuracy, whoa, and alertness. And Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel tastes great too. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel even comes in a special can with a uniquely textured grip, so it's easy to refuel between respawns. The ones you're furiously trying to avoid? Hey, there we go. So next time you log online, gear up. Get the drink designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
It's time to play the game. Put your money on the table. Come on. It's the one game you'll never,
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and Larry Peroletti along with Nick Peroletti as we had interesting baseball chat in the 3 o'clock hour, most notably about the Rockies. Interesting portion of our program coming up now. A couple of things that I wanted to touch upon. First off, back to baseball, where the Houston Astros denied a reporter access to Justin Verlander's media availability following the team's loss last night to the Motor City Kitties.
Which a team has all the right to do that.
Well, and again, too.
Again, teams.
Matter of fact, I don't mean to interrupt you, Nick. Matter of fact, I was just talking to one of our state senators here in Wyoming. And matter of fact, before we went on the show. And we were talking about the media bias.
All right.
You take it for what it's worth. But let's be real. Newspaper reporters slant more towards the left.
All right.
And again, I'm not making this political. TV is more slanted to the left. Radio has been to the right. But for some reason, the Detroit Free Press reporter, Anthony Fennick, has not been too forgiving of Justin Verlander since he left. And while he was even there. Remember, he pitched for Detroit before being shipped off to Houston.
Yeah, without a doubt. So,
and I mean, the Free Press in Detroit, again, being more biased instead of reporting the facts about Verlander. Verlander said, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to the Free Press, but I'm not going to talk to this reporter. Because he's been really a thorn or more reporting his viewpoint more than what actually
Well, it's on the basis of kind of yellow journalism, or you're trying to find that tagline, or you're trying not so much make up stuff, but it is something where, oh, hey, check out, you kind of expand upon it or make it more extravagant than what it should be. It sounds like it's a situation like that. It does happen in journalism. You know, obviously in this day and age where it is, especially on the newspaper side of things, it is a dog-eat-dog world out there where, and newspapers trying to get money.
Too.
Yeah, without a doubt. Newspapers across the country are dying. It is a situation of you are trying to get those eye-catching headlines. You are trying to get those viewers, those readers to your article. So, again, basically gives you that job security that everyone's kind of looking, especially in that media side of thing, at least on the newspapers. It doesn't surprise me. And again, thankfully, at least in this country, and we do have this opportunity, whether it is Houston Astros barring him or Justin Verlander saying, hey, I don't want to talk to him, he has all that right. Do I blame him of where, hey, if he's been unfair, if he's saying possibly slanderous things, if he's, again, being a little extravagant on his headlines or his stories about Justin Verlander has not been, too kind to him, guess what? As a human being, he has that right to say, I'm not talking to you. Bye-bye. Change things up, or, again, it's going to be like this, for the near future. I don't blame Justin Verlander. Good on him.
And he basically, here's what he tweeted. I declined to speak with the Free Press reporter last night because of his unethical behavior in the past.
There you go.
I reached out to the Free Press multiple times before the game to notify them why and to give them an opportunity to have someone else there. Ironically, they did not answer. Now, Chris Thomas, who's the Free Press sports editor, also tweeted that neither he nor his reporter has heard from Verlander. Thomas added that he's more than happy to speak with Verlander about the conflict. Hey, add Justin Verlander, I would like to know who you have contacted about telling your side of the story. We talk about the Free Press.
You might want to use quotes on that one.
Yeah, my reporter has not heard from you directly, nor have I. My email is listed on the article we published last night. I am more than happy to speak with you about it. Twitter.com/Justin Verlander.
No.
So,
you need to get better on quoting those things.
Well,
it's like, what the hell are you saying?
This is coming off the tweets, and these tweets are
it's still his own words, so it's him saying something. But either way, again, understandable just Verlander side of saying, hey, he's got that right to do it. Hey, I don't like what you're doing or your practices at Detroit Free Press. Go right ahead. Block him, deny him access. You have that right. Go right ahead. I don't blame him. And it doesn't surprise me that this has happened. It's probably happened in other venues. It's happened with other players. I would not doubt other teams have probably done this. It happens because we are in that day and age in the media, whether it's radio, TV, newspaper. Again, it is that dog-eat-dog world where you're trying to get viewers, listeners, readers, whatever it may be, and you're going to try and entice them with that catchy headline, that catchy story that might, again, expand upon or at least go a little above and beyond what the reality is of the situation of, hey, check out Justin Verlander. He said this, where you might use it out of context.
Yeah, and again.
Again, are there also those who may have, again, the key word of what's kind of used in this day and age of an agenda? Possibly. Could be. Again, everyone's out there trying to make a living at this point in time where especially with these major newspapers that we're seeing, again, we're seeing, the struggle down in Denver with the Denver Post. You saw Seattle close down theirs. It is a situation that we're seeing these major papers close down. So these folks are, again, in desperate need to hold on to that job or have that job security to keep that living. And how do you do that? You go, hey, check out this story that will catch your eye. Or this, how about this, what a player said in the locker room that might be a little bit scandalous. You're trying to find those catchy stories, those catchy whatever it may be to get people in, to get you that job satisfaction, at least job security, I should say. And again, to make sure that you can still provide a living for yourself.
Well, and again, too, you have to report the facts. See, here's the thing. And
again, this is nothing new, even outside of the sports realm.
There are good sports reporters. Don't get me
without
wrong.
a doubt.
But the thing is, there are those out there that for some reason miss that day of class where you have to be biased in your reporting. And again,
unbiased. You're saying biased.
Unbiased. I'm sorry. You need to be unbiased. And again, just because, and obviously this happened when Verlander was moved to Houston at the waiver trade deadline back in 2017. Obviously, there were some things that were said by Finnick.
And look at with this reporter as well too of the Detroit Free Press, who is now covering the Detroit Tigers, where, let's be honest, is he gaining a whole lot of views where this Detroit Tigers franchise is pathetic right now in Major League Baseball? It has fallen off the face of the earth. It is it's on par of being just a complete, at least awful team, and there's nowhere of kind of trending upwards. And again, already in a kind of tough area of Detroit where, again, economy is probably not the best out there. Readership in those who are buying into the paper probably not as high due to the fact, because, again, teams in Detroit are really doing well. Again, Lions, who cares? Again, Red Wings are down and out. Again, Tigers are terrible in the Major League. At least
basketball, Pistons.
Well, the Pistons are they're the only bright spot.
They're the Mendoza line. That's about it.
They still made the playoffs,
but the thing is, though, you're right. And the Free Press has been around for a long time. But again, too, those that are, and again, obviously, the Static has been with the Free Press for a long time. But for these reporters that are taking these journalism classes today. And again, even when I took journalism classes back in the 70s, you're taught to be unbiased. You have to
But there's a difference between what you taught and again, what you're taught and what you do to survive. It is.
I understand that, but
it's that human instinct. It's that human instinct where, okay, I need to do this to continue my living. Again, to buy the things that I want, to live in the house that I want, to do the things that I want to do. Okay.
You want to make the story
what
exciting.
I taught,
you want to
goes
make it
aside to survive.
But you also got to write you also got to put in the proper verbiage.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And matter of fact, I've done this before too. And
again, that's the classy way. That is the honorable way to do things. But again, outside of the sports realm, we're seeing that in journalism. Again, it's dog eat dog. You are trying to survive.
And I've done this in radio where I've said, hey, the coach is going nuts on the sideline. Where he's running up and down and he's all excited. I got called by that coach the following Monday, and he said, I didn't really appreciate you saying that. And I said, well, that was just a phrase, I was using at the time because you were going, you were running up and down, and you were flapping your arms.
All right, it's a bad terminology.
That's it. I think that's what a lot of the reporters, what do you want to say, broadcasters too, we sometimes use the wrong verbiage.
You have other intentions where others could take it another way.
Exactly. And I basically put my foot in my mouth not once, not twice. I probably put it in quite a few times. And I feel bad about it. And I've also issued an apology, too, by saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
But again, going back to the situation here with the Detroit Free Press and Justin Verlander, this sounds like it's been a growing trend. And has this writer ever reached out to Verlander to correct those? Has Verlander ever reached out to the Free Press and saying, hey, this is not right?
And they're not going to work this out. It sounds like the damage has been done, and it's over.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like it's been an oopsie moment by that writer. It's been more of a growing kind of trend. It's something that's just added fuel to the fire, and it's at that boiling point where, no, you're not talking to me. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Go write some other story.
All right, we've got to take a timeout, and we're going to be back with more. Zeke may have a new contract with the Dallas Cowboys. You got to be kidding me, Jerry. We're back after these words.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, proven and respected when it comes to the care of your vehicle. For nearly 25 years, Cars has been there to repair and fix those minor problems to get you back on the road without major difficulties. And now, as we do more traveling at this time of year, see Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service first for your car or truck when it comes to tuning it up, an oil change, brakes, shocks, work on your air conditioning unit, and so much more. John and his crew at Cars gives your vehicle the precise detail it deserves. Respect it with quality workmanship. Always bring your vehicle to Shine Auto Repair and Service at 604 West Lincoln Way. Call for an appointment at 632-0498. Open Monday through Friday. Is the touchscreen on your phone or tablet cracked or broken? Buying a new device could cost up to $1,000. Or you could let the local experts at High West Digital Solutions save you hundreds of dollars. We can replace your touchscreen in as little as a day, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 81 and winds out the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 54. On Friday, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 79. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back again on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hey, don't think that number 7 is going to be charging back on the field for the Denver Broncos. John Elway says his hands are back to normal after a debilitating medical condition left him unable to pick up or hold a football. Just so you know.
All right.
Elway, the Denver Broncos president of football operations and general manager, appeared today on NBC's Today Show to help raise awareness for what they call Viking disease. The Hall of Fame quarterback said he was diagnosed with the condition 15 years ago, well after he retired, following the 1998 season, and that his ring fingers on both hands were constricted into a bent position. Initially, Elway opted against having surgery to treat the issue and more recently underwent a non-surgical treatment to attempt to strengthen his fingers.
So what, a more extreme carpal tunnel syndrome?
I don't know how, again, a Viking disease, I have to look this up, but this is what Elway said, quote, "When I saw my hand doctor, the only option was surgery. I wasn't interested in more surgeries. I've had so many surgeries during my playing career. At that point in time, I didn't want to have another one. Though his hands are now back into their normal state," Elway said, "they could constrict again in the future." So
yeah, but it doesn't sound like it's life-threatening or anything like that. But you're good on him to put up awareness, but it's kind of a weird thing. What happened again? Just again, not to make light or whatever.
Here's what Elway says. Elway says he wasn't certain if his 16-year football career led to his condition in the National Football League. The full cause of condition is unknown, but according to the Mayo Clinic, there's no evidence that hand injuries or occupations that involve vibrations to the hands cause the condition. So, again, John Elway, unfortunately, is the unlucky one that has this particular condition, and I'm sure he's one of many. Similar to the cancer I had. You remember, you were there when they told me. I got the 1 in a million
That
cancer.
is two different levels of where he's got this.
I'm just saying, though, remember, they said, hey, this is the 1 in a million cancer.
Yeah.
And, again, this hand, I've never heard of this before. Have you?
No.
And, again, where his fingers are bent, we would think of.
It just sounds like carpal tunnel.
You would think of Fred Sanford. I got arthritis, back in Sanford's. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up here.
Anyway.
Update on Zeke and the Cowboys. You posted this on our Wyoming Sports Talk.
Well, it came out about 4 hours ago. This is out of Ed Werder,
from
ESPN, who found this out. Basically, at least the tweet, and I'll just talk about it right here from Ed Werder about Ezekiel Elliott. Sources, and this is a quote from him, sources, the most recent offer in negotiations between the holdout Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys came from the team. Elliott has been offered a contract making him one of the NFL's 2 highest paid running backs. That would suggest team offering more than Le'Veon Bell and less than Todd Gurley, end quote. So again, that's just what Ed Werder at least posted on Twitter out there on the social media sides about the Ezekiel Elliott deal. Again, nothing has been official. It sounds like it's in the works. It sounds like both kind of came to this negotiations. And here's where we stand, where Ezekiel Elliott sounds like he got what he wanted, or you would think that is.
They're working it out.
It's pretty much in Ezekiel Elliott's at least hands now of, will you sign the deal? Is he going to ask for more? Is he going to hold out for more to be that top dog, so to speak, above Todd Gurley? We'll see what happens. But again, it has not been official, but the talks have been there. Cowboys sound like they're willing to work or at least give monies to Ezekiel Elliott. So that's where we stand with the at least Dallas Cowboys in that situation.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do want to go, at least when I did post this on the Facebook side of things for Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which, again, you can find by simply searching Wyoming Sports Talk Today, or it's facebook.com/WyoSportsTalk, where we do ask you to please like and follow our page for updates such as this. We did have at least one comment from one Chris Schrader about this, where they put, I am a Dallas fan. I am so sick of this drama every season. He doesn't deserve a raise when he still has 2 years left on his contract.
Thank you.
I hope Jerry sticks to his guns, and then ended the at least comment with Zeke who.
All right, now, this is it. Elliott is still in training. Boy, I wish we all could train at Cabo San Lucas amid his ongoing contract holdout with the Cowboys, which began the start of training camp. And Chris made a very good point, and I say this too. He is under current contract through 2020. That means till next season. This year, he's going to make, again, he signed these deals back when he was drafted, in 16, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
So he signed this deal with
as
his
a number
agent,
4
Drew
overall.
Rosenhaus.
Again, number 4 overall pick. So that garnered him the monies here compared to if he was drafted a little bit
and
later.
signing bonuses.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what he's scheduled to make this year.
As we talked about yesterday.
$3.85 million. He gets a raise. He could have a crappy season this year and get $9.1 million.
That's what I'm saying. Is it worth it for the Cowboys to do this? Probably not. Where, again, running backs you can find. As we were seeing in the draft, hey, you get a few years out of them, bye-bye. Hey, we'll move on. We'll find this new guy who's got the younger wills. It's pretty much with the running backs of, okay, you have no mileage on you. Let's take a shot with you. Okay, you can run. You have at least fresh enough legs. You're not running into injuries. All right, we'll take your shot. We'll get a few seasons out of you, and we're happy with it. This is, for the Cowboys, it was interesting to see them budge on this. Again, Ezekiel Elliott, is he a fan favorite? He's a known name for Dallas Cowboys, but is it something that Cowboy fans...
He's got a lot of baggage.
Clearly, as we at least heard from Chris there on their comment on our Facebook side of things, but Ezekiel Elliott, would Cowboy fans in general be hurt if he basically sat out this season or was no longer a Dallas Cowboy? I have a feeling majority of them would not care. They go, okay, what other at least running backs are out there that could do something? Again, running backs, we're seeing that here in this day and age where it is you get about 4 or 5 good seasons out of them, and then afterwards, okay, you draft, you get another one, you just kind of repeat that cycle. As I was saying yesterday on the show about, again, where we see the rarities of a Frank Gore that can kind of last and stand, at least stand over time, that's a rarity right now in the NFL. And we're seeing that with teams of, okay, hey, cool. Look at what happened with the Denver Broncos where, okay, hey, C.J. Anderson, you had a few good seasons. Bye-bye. We're going to move in this guy. Now we got this guy. We're going to draft this guy. We're going to get this running back. It happens all the time, and I think that's the new move for at least running backs here in the NFL. It was just very surprising that the Cowboys kind of broke down, so to speak, and are willing to do this for one Ezekiel Elliott.
I like, and we're going to get off of this because we talked about it yesterday ad nauseum, and again,
nothing is official.
I know.
This is all in the works.
Signed a contract you should honor. Shame on you. You're selfish. And if
I don't blame Ezekiel. Hey, you want your monies, you want your guaranteed monies before he is kind of tossed aside for whatever reason due to injuries or what could happen to him. Again, as we see running backs get maneuvered.
And you need to fire.
They get maneuvered all over the place. But again, I don't blame Ezekiel Elliott. Do I think it's the right thing to do? No, but it is something of, you have that option. Go right ahead. Go kind of, at least, so to speak, hold up the Dallas Cowboys for as much as you can get at this point in time. Go right ahead. I mean, you have that. It's up to the Cowboys to say yes or no on that, clearly. And now, as we're understanding that the Cowboys are basically, I wouldn't say caving, but they're saying, hey, Ezekiel, okay, we like what you've done. We like you a part of this team. We'll give you those monies to keep you happy and a part of the Dallas Cowboys. Again, it's a two-way street. So it's not like Ezekiel is it's not like Ezekiel is holding up this team, so to speak,
no.
and that operations now cease because Elliott is doing this. No, it's a two-way street.
But you're also dealing
I don't blame him.
You're also dealing with a very astute businessman in one jersey.
Clearly not, because he's willing, as this indication is showing, that he's going to be the second highest paid running back behind Todd Gurley. Tells me that Jerry Jones said, okay, here's your money. Have fun.
He's coming back with a counteroffer, and I wonder if this is going to be a.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if Ezekiel, if he just signs it and says, "Okay, I'm happy."
Yeah, we'll see. The NFL, and I think it was on ESPN. If I might be wrong on this one, but talking about the NFL's 100th season forthcoming.
You're the only one that watches ESPN.
No, I don't. I
could care less about that.
I just catch glimpses of it, Nick. I do not. I actually, if I'm watching ESPN, I'm watching the ticker more than I'm watching what goes on. But it begins its 100th season this year. And I think it's at probably its all-time low for fans, viewership.
Again, you could go back to 1919 where probably fan attendance was a lot lower than it is now or something like that.
But I'm talking about in the modern era.
I think 2019 you are seeing a trend downwards. Okay. I think it is. The NFL, whether it is TV viewership, attendance at these games, fan interest in the NFL, I think we are at probably a low point in probably a couple 20, 30, 40 years of the NFL. Yes, I would agree that we are.
I would say
trending
the
downwards.
leadership of the NFL is the weakest it's ever been under Roger
Well,
Goodell.
clearly, we saw that last year with the great debate during the offseason of, do we require players to stand? Do we allow them to have that freedom to kneel if they want? And again, that flip-flop decision.
Yes, no. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It shows how spineless they are to make a decision.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the greatest of all times are now going to be thrown out. And
even though they get thrown out pretty often by the NFL, which is cool.
But I think if we went
around, go back to Super Bowl 50, what they did in Santa Clara, where they showed off all the Super Bowl legends.
All the Super Bowl legends, absolutely. But if you throw out the greatest of all time, and I'm going to throw out quarterback, I would think you and I would probably agree.
Joe Montana.
I would have to put him number 2.
Well, you're putting Tom Brady number 1?
I have to put number 1 Tom Brady. And you know
Which is fair.
Yeah, Tom Brady, obviously, because of championship longevity. You got to remember, Joe Montana, as he got older, he got oft injured as well.
Yeah.
And Brady's only had the one injury, the knee injury, and he also lost the 4 games because of Deflategate. So, you're not wrong with Montana, but he's a high number 2 in my book. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, it's just piecing. It's obviously fun to piece out these lists or figure out who's the number 1 or the 100 best players of all time.
But you also have to go back into time too, and you have to look at the likes of Johnny Unitas when he was with Baltimore. Do you go back to Otto Graham with Cleveland? Sammy Baugh. You go way back in time. But again, I would say the greatest of all time for the Team 100 has to be Tom Brady, just because of the longevity and of the championships.
Yeah, what he's done in his career, yeah, without a doubt. He has got to be I would say unanimous, but yeah, he's got to be up there without a doubt. And again, it's just picking hairs of who's number 2, number 3, number 4, blah, blah, blah. Again, there's a lot of names. You could toss out a Jim Brown as a possibility. You could toss
I would say he's one of the greatest running backs. I still think, and he left at the top of his game. So did Barry Sanders. Both those guys left at the top of their game. Gale Sayers with Chicago. If it wasn't for 2 knee injuries, one of them hit by Kermit Alexander of the 49ers in a game at Old Wrigley Field.
Surprised you didn't put up Emmitt Smith as well, too, for the Cowboys.
Who's
kind of tossed
I'm
out.
just throwing that out there. But again,
wide receivers, obviously.
Jerry Rice,
Rice
obviously. There's no comparison. So a lot of today's players are going to make that list because, again, a lot of us weren't back in the 1990s. Now,
well, this is NFL. I would assume that they're going to go and look through at least through town, or at least through time, and go, okay, here's some of the Green Bay great teams where you acknowledge, the Jerry Kramers of the world of those Green Bay teams. You look at the old school Raider teams. Give love to the Pittsburgh Steelers again, the Steel Curtain.
Absolutely,
do all that again. The at least people eaters of the Minnesota Vikings. They're not going to be tossed to a side, and obviously, and will it be more of the what is now officially known as the NFL, or will they actually go back to those early?
Well, they did
again with the Cleveland teams that actually won before the NFL Super Bowl.
They did go back, for example, here with Jerry Rice on one side, on the other side, Don Hudson of the Green Bay Packers. He played 35 through 45.
Yeah,
but also too, you look at that list, and you would be remiss to leave off Randy Moss, but also, too, back in the day in the 60s, one Bambi, Lance Allworth.
No.
I mean, this guy was he was a gazelle on the field. Running back, like you mentioned, Jim Brown, I don't think there's too much of an argument there that he is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I think if they're tabulating this 100 top list for the NFL season, you're going to probably see more in the modern era of the NFL when it was the NFL merged with the AFL. Again, the Super Bowl era as we know it. I think you're going to see majority of players in this time frame of football history more than pre-Super Bowl era.
But you go even before you were born. Walter Payton, Sweetness. You never saw him play. You only seen clips of him.
Yeah.
This guy was great. But also, too, even before your time and when I was just being born, you look at, and actually I can't even include myself, Joe Perry when he was with the 49ers. I've only seen old 49er clips because I am a fan of the 49ers.
Here's an interesting one, and we're phenomenal athletes on the field, but off the field, questionable, who I still think is in jail at this point in time. But would they flirt with the name of one Lawrence Taylor? Has put him on the top 100 again, a phenomenal linebacker.
I'm surprised an O.J. Simpson name is not on there.
Ugh.
No, think about
it. I mean, as a running back,
he was the first man to eclipse 2,000 yards rushing.
That's true. Yeah.
But again, there's nowhere, and that's what I'm looking at here in the running backs. Here's the names that they threw out: Joe Perry, San Francisco; Ollie Matson with the old Chicago Cardinals, Rams, Detroit Lions. You said Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders. Let's see, Marion Motley with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, this guy was huge. John Henry Johnson. There's no name anywhere of O.J. Simpson.
Which is, again, in my opinion, not surprising, especially of the off-the-field situation where NFL probably wants to kind of separate themselves from instances like that where it already has a bad name for off-the-field instances with even current players right now in the NFL. Does that surprise me that OJ's left off? No. Wouldn't be surprising again if Lawrence Taylor's left off.
He's on there.
He's on. Okay.
He's actually on. Right. Just to go through this real quick, and I know we need to take a break. I'm going to finish it up here, and I don't really have a lot of arguments with the names that they started out with here. On the tackle side, he was the left tackle, Anthony Munoz, who started with Cincinnati from 1980 through 1992. Guard, John Hanna with the Patriots from 1973 through 1985. Definitely don't have a problem with this guy in the middle. Jim Otto from the Raiders from 1960 through 1974. Jim Parker with the Baltimore Colts, 57 through 67. And then Forrest Gregg, who played with the Packers beginning in 1956 and wrapped up his career with the Cowboys in 1971. Tight end, I'm okay with it. Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah,
I
think that's
still
fair.
would throw in I would still throw in a John Mackey. I would throw in a Dave Casper. I would throw in a Mike Ditka. Mike Ditka, who played with both the Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. He was a great tight end. He was.
Yeah, but there's no argument against Tony Gonzalez too.
No, I mean he was your all. I guess what can I say? Your all around tight end. Could do it all for you.
Yeah.
On the defensive side, I don't think you're going to get much arguments here. Defensive end, the late Reggie White.
No.
From Eagles 85 to 92. Of course, his career really flourished with the Packers 93 through 98, and then wrapped up with the Panthers. Deacon Jones, David Deacon Jones, who started with the Rams from 61 to 71, Chargers 72 and 73, and then the Redskins in 74.
No issue there.
Mean Joe Green, defensive tackle, 1969 through 1981. And the late Merlin Olsen with the Rams on that old fearsome foursome, 1962 through 1976. Linebackers, LT.
Which, again, not surprising. If you're going to ignore the off-field stuff, which obviously they're doing, again, on the field, yeah, without a doubt. One of the best.
You also could throw in that argument, old-timers, Chuck Bednarik, who went both ways. The last of the both-way players for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the early 60s, late 50s.
Yeah.
The late Derek Thomas, whose career got cut short.
Yeah.
He's also in that argument. How about in the middle? Dick Butkus.
Yeah.
How many uniforms do you see that are linebackers wearing the number 51? Not maybe today, but from the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s, you wore number 51 if you were a middle linebacker. So you go with Dick Butkus from 65 through 73, where he played with the Bears.
Saw a lot of that, out in Chicago. That's where he predominantly see
Jack
that.
Lambert, for the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, Steelers.
You definitely would have to throw him in there. They even throw Ray Lewis in there as a middle guy.
All right.
Don't forget, too, who followed Dick Butkus. He wore number 50. He was the former coach of the 49ers.
Mike Singletary.
Yeah. Also in the linebacker core was Bobby Bell with Kansas City, 1963 through 1974. Bobby Bell always wore the high tops. Let's see. You could also have Jack Ham in there. Dave Wilcox for the 49ers, little number 64. Cornerback,
Deion Sanders.
No issue.
Do you have an argument with that?
No.
I don't either. I mean, there's other names you could throw out there. Let's see who else is on there. The other cornerback, Rod Woodson with the Steelers, Niners, and Baltimore Ravens. You can throw in there Willie Brown from the Oakland Raiders. Champ Bailey from the Denver Broncos and the Redskins. You could.
Yeah, possibly.
Kenny Houston Oilers, 67 through 72. Redskins from 73 to 1980. And then I'm very satisfied with this last one here. Ronnie Lott, safety.
Yeah.
49ers, 1981 through 1990. Raiders, 91-92. And wrapped up his career with the Jets, 93-94.
Now in the backfield, you could also make an argument of kind of more recent players. Again, one Troy Polamalu, possibly. Again, who was kind of that shutdown corner at a point in time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, well-known. Possibly. Again, just looking at some of the at least new faces or at least some of the recent guys, possibly. That kind of stands out to me. But
again, as you see, the football player from yesteryear, and again,
they're not going to. Yeah,
the golden age of football, when football first started getting on TV. The 50s, the late 50s. You're seeing, like.
Well, and I didn't anticipate that they were going to give any acknowledgement to where 100 years anyone in the 1919 era or again 20s, 30s, 40s. Was not anticipating a whole lot of representation in that time.
But I'm just saying, though, it's the second half.
It's kind of like with baseball, of you don't anticipate a whole lot of recognition of the 1860s, 1880s. Again, it's more of earliest stints of at least Major League Baseball. They're 150 years. It's more starting around 1910, 1920.
Of those 22 guys that we mentioned, 1919 through 1968, that would be the first 50 years of the National Football League. There's probably, maybe 5 to 7 guys, and the rest basically are the modern era football players of today. We need to take a timeout. We're going to be back and get ready to wrap things up here on 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480KRAE.com.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Cosmetic surgery. Is it right for you? Cosmetic surgery can help individuals enhance their appearance and move forward with a renewed sense of confidence. Dr. Joseph Luby at Cheyenne Regional is a board-certified plastic surgeon with 20 years of experience performing reconstructive and cosmetic procedures, including breast lifts, facelifts, liposuction, and more. To schedule a consultation, call 307-638-8987 or visit CheyenneRegional.org/appointments. Cheyenne Regional. We inspire great health.
Introducing Digital Wallet, a new way to pay with Platte Valley Bank. Add your Platte Valley Bank debit card to Google Pay, Samsung Pay, or Apple Pay, and have the ability to make purchases with just your phone. It's secure, simple, and accepted by millions of merchants worldwide. Try it today or check out pvbank.com for more information.
To celebrate Taco John's 50th anniversary, our famous Sierra Chicken Sandwich is back. With grilled chicken and original Sierra sauce wrapped in a warm flatbread, the Sierra Chicken Sandwich is better than ever. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win $50,000, free food, and other great prizes with any medium or large drink purchase. 1 in 3 cups is a winner. Enter the code on the cup to see if you've won $50,000, free food, or other great prizes. The more you play, the more you win. Ole the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 81 and winds out the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 54. On Friday, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 79. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 52.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Again, our time has flown right by here today as we are into the home stretch of our program. I wanted to, bring out the niceness of sports and
I wanted to address. We got another comment on the Facebook side of things.
Do you have it there?
I don't have it here in front of me. I could pull it up here, but at least another entity. Actually, I do have it here in front of me. At least. Cheyenne Clutch, at least basketball program, at least left another comment on our Facebook side of things about the Ezekiel Elliott
thank
situation.
You, by the way, for doing that too. We appreciate
it. Without a doubt. They at least commented about that post saying, "I am a Dallas fan." Also, they put, "Come on, the Cowboys don't have an offense without Zeke. The only reason Dak ever has passing chances is because defenses have to play to run." Again, I don't agree with that comment. Again, where you look at right now of the projected starters for the Dallas Cowboys, you look at the weapons that Dak Prescott has outside of Ezekiel Elliott. Even as of right now, we're projected starters where, according to this, they even basically left off Ezekiel Elliott at the running back position. Obviously, again, as they're trying to get this contract thing situated, they have listed Darius Jackson as a starting running back potential if this is not settled here soon. But for Dak Prescott, again, looking at the weapons on that, at least for the offensive side, one Michael Gallup, you have also two Amari Cooper, you have also two Randall Cobb, and also the old reliable, so to speak, of one Jason Witten. But again, with Darius Jackson, it all depends on your offensive line of how well they're going to do for the Dallas Cowboys.
They got to open up the holes.
I think Darius Jackson, being as your starting running back over one Ezekiel Elliott, probably not going to get as much yards, but I still think can be a threat for defenses to keep an eye out on. Again, Ezekiel Elliott, if he's not a part of the Cowboys going forward in 2019, if they don't get this situated, I think the Cowboys, if they're missing Ezekiel Elliott, does not mean that they're going to plus or minus a whole lot of wins with that one entity gone part of this team.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think Zeke brings X amount of wins to the table when he steps onto the football field.
Yeah, I really don't.
Because they don't have any Super Bowl championships under his running back prowess. So, I'm in agreement with you. Darius Jackson, it depends on your offensive line. If you could open up holes to drive a Mack truck through, which Ezekiel Elliott can do.
We see that in the college ranks. We saw it over in Laramie with the Wyoming Cowboys of, hey, you got a few running backs that are injured. Okay, we'll toss in a Valladay, we'll toss in whoever. Yeah. As long as that line's opening up, he's got the gut, he's got the legs. He knows where to read the holes and read that defense.
Zeke is a name. Darius Jackson isn't. There you go.
Yeah.
Real quick here as we get ready to wrap things up, and one of the nice things that our athletes do, those that have made some money in their various sports, they give back. And I thought this was kind of cool, whether you think it's not. Steph Curry gave to Howard University because, again, a lot of these institutions are struggling. These programs are, they just don't have the money for it.
Which is ironic because you look at least in the junior college route, NJCAA usually in the offseason, as we get ready for fall sports, does this welcome back kind of at least announcement of JUCO colleges that are bringing back at least programs. So it's kind of weird to say that about Howard University where you're seeing it's kind of hit and miss around the country.
But it's also a private university, too. I mean, it costs you a few bucks to go to this place. But anyway, Howard University is bringing back its golf teams for the first time in decades. with a big assist from Steph Curry. Curry announced earlier this week that he will financially support the Bison's golf teams for the next 6 years. Howard, a historically black university in Washington, D.C., plans to have men's and women's teams in place for the 2021 season. And again, we're not
Good
talking,
on him.
We're not talking that he's going to put in $100,000.
No.
I guarantee you, he wrote a check for 7 figures plus.
Well, again, the fully financed where you're talking, obviously new equipment. Would that include possibly paying for, or at least paying for a new head coach's salary? I don't know if that's
travel and everything.
Travel, yes. How's that going to happen again? Obviously, all the equipment is going to be Under Armour sponsored. That's all brand new clubs. However, that will come about.
I'm thinking of Rodney Dangerfield in the movie Back to School, and I'm thinking of this here with Steph Curry, where the athletic director KRAE Davis says this is one of the most generous gifts in the history of Howard University. And I guarantee you, it had to be 7 figures big.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That Steph is financing this golf program.
Good on him.
Good on him. I think it's great.
He's making that capital, whether it is from the Warriors or, again, the at least sponsorship deals that he's got going. So he's got the money. Give back. Good on him.
And it's also a tax write-off.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, we got to wrap things up here. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, too, again, for the comments.